Welcome back to another thrilling episode of Let's Settle This, the only television show where history's fiercest rivals hash it out once and for all. Today's episode, Anti-Federalists versus Federalists. Okay, first up, representing the Federalists, the brains behind the Federalist Papers, a former Secretary of Treasury, and let's be honest, the one most likely to have a musical written about them, Alexander Hamilton. Yes!
Yeah! I love you! Whoa!
It looks like we have a crowd full of Federalists up in here. Mr. Hamilton, and welcome to the show. How are you feeling today?
I'm absolutely thrilled to be here. It's about time somebody set the record here on a strong central government.
And you're the man to do it. But do not get too comfortable. Up next, representing the Anti-Federalists, the man who wrote the Declaration of Independence and believes states' rights reign supreme, Thomas Jefferson. Bye. Mr. Jefferson, thank you for having us.
Pleasure.
Okay.
Though I must say, I'm here to remind everybody that power belongs in the hands of the people, not a central authority.
Okay, girl. I can feel the tension already. Let us get right into it then. Mr. Hamilton, why do you believe a strong central government is essential?
The Articles of Confederation were a disaster. Without a unified government, we are weak. Economically, militarily, and politically. A nation must stand together, not a loose connection of states.
And yet, Mr. Hamilton, that unity comes at the cost of liberty. A strong central government is a threat to individual rights. We fought a revolution to escape tyranny.
Oh yeah?
All right, gentlemen, let's take a quick break here. We will dig deeper into these ideas right after the commercial break. And we are back. Mr. Hamilton, how would you address Mr. Jefferson's concerns about tyranny?
It's simple. A strong central government does not mean tyranny. It means structure. Take the Constitution. It is designed with checks and balances to prevent any one branch from gaining too much power. The Articles of Confederation, by contrast, was pure chaos. States competing instead of cooperating, that is a recipe for failure if you ask me.
Again, Alexander, at what cost? You talk about unity, but you're centralizing power in a way that will crush the state's ability to govern themselves. Local governments understand their people's needs far better than some distant federal entity ever could.
Ah, yes. But states' rights don't pay debt or defend borders, do they? Under your weak system, how do we find an army? How do we stabilize our economy? Don't look at him, look at me.
Through the people's consent, not coercion. You Federalists are so eager to tax and centralize, you forget the very principles of what we fought for. A Bill of Rights is essential to protect citizens from overreach, yet you were reluctant to even include one.
Right. So, Mr. Hamilton, why didn't the Federalists initially push for a Bill of Rights?
Because the Constitution itself is the Bill of Rights. It explicitly limits the powers of the federal government. Adding a list of rights may imply that unlisted rights do not exist. A dangerous precedent.
Exactly.
Precedent?
Ah.
And yet, without a clear statement, how can citizens be sure their freedoms are protected? You say the Constitution limits federal power, but your policies, the national bank, seem to suggest otherwise.
The National Bank, a necessary institution to ensure financial stability. How else can we establish credit and encourage our economic growth?
By not overstepping the Constitution, Mr. Hamilton, show me where it explicitly grants the government the power to create such a bank.
It is implied in the necessary and proper clause, Thomas. The government must have the tools to fulfill its duties.
There it is. Implied powers. The first step towards tyranny.
Gentlemen, this has been a spirited discussion, but let us leave our audience with something to think about. Mr. Hamilton, if you could leave us with one final point, what would it be?
All right, you're good.
That unity is a strength. A strong central government is not a threat. It's a safeguard to our nation's future.
All right, and go.
And you, Mr. Jefferson?
That liberty is a fragile thing. Power must remain as close to the people as possible to preserve the freedom that we fought so hard to achieve.
Two powerful arguments from two brilliant minds. Who's right? That's up to you to decide. Thank you for joining us on Let's Settle This.
And cut.
I like your mustache.
I like yours too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Period.